guys? John McNamara, host, running Vegas. We're talking local sports, business, real estate. If you guys like what we see today, subscribe, follow us on Running Vegas Podcast. Today, I got my co-host in the house, Mr. George Hernandez.
What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday.
Whew, I gotta catch my breath.
It's all about walking.
All that walking. I already got my 10,000
The humidity.
There you go.
Hey, this is a good pod, so I had to be hyped for it.
Good, I'm excited.
We got a special guest, Dr. Brian Rokos, owner, medical director, Vegas Valley Pet Hospital. In the house. Thanks for being in, man.
Thanks for having me for today, guys. I'm just really excited. This is going to be my first podcast, so I'm really excited to dive in and have this conversation. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So we want to learn more about you. Where are you from? Your story?
Definitely. So, born and raised southwest suburb of Chicago, Illinois. Pretty much have loved animals my whole life and just kind of followed down that path. I did my undergraduate studies at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana. It was a great 4 years of undergrad. Decided to further my studies into veterinary medicine and kind of went a non-conventional route. I did my DVM school in the Caribbean in the island of Grenada. It was probably one of the best 3 years of my life. Living on a little 12-mile wide by 20-mile long island in the middle of the ocean right before you hit Venezuela.
Does it help you focus too?
You know, I wouldn't say it helped me focus. It helped me kind of embrace like a whole new culture and be able to, you know, see the different aspects of how people live and understand kind of everybody's situation. So it is actually cool because down in the island of Grenada, the veterinary field, they don't have a lot of veterinary medicine like we have out here, and their outlook of animals is a lot different. A lot of, you know, animals roaming wild, things like that. So it was a great 3 years down there. Had met a bunch of my classmates that I have a really close vet family with now that we keep in contact every day. And then followed my studies to my last year doing my clinicals at University of Tennessee in Knoxville. So been a little bit all over the place, and then went and started my veterinary career back in the Chicagoland area before I ventured out to here in Vegas about 8 years ago, and I've been out here ever since.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, so it's been quite the journey. Kind of a little bit of a non-conventional route, a little bit here in the Midwest, a little bit down in the Caribbean, a little bit in the southern states. So
we like unconventional.
People call us unconventional.
You gotta be sometimes. Sometimes they call me unconventional too. But yeah, it's been quite the journey, and that's kind of where it kind of got me to start my career 8 years ago and kept me on my feet.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm curious because you're from the Midwest. You had a little time in like Tennessee too. So sure is a big culture shift moving to Vegas. How was that?
And why Vegas?
Why Vegas?
Why Vegas?
Yeah, great question. So why Vegas? You know, when I went back to Illinois, I didn't really think I was going to be there, you know, for the rest of my career. You know, when been out there and then lived in the Caribbean, your blood starts to boil fast. And so when you go back to Chicago, where they have you know, extremely hot summers with the humidity, and then, you know, pretty much below freezing winters, you know, the winters were not fun for me anymore. So it was just time that my contract ended at the end of the year, where it gave me the opportunity to venture to a new place. I kind of was feeling out the Florida, Texas, and Nevada kind of areas. Nevada has a big veterinary conference every year called Western Veterinary Conference down at Mandalay Bay. So we went to that for a couple of years and just kind of fell in love with the town and just decided I needed something to change. And there's a huge veterinary community out here, so that's why I decided to, you know, venture out this way and try something new, and I haven't left since.
And once you like come to Vegas, I feel like the reality is different.
It's
no longer the strip, and you're like, okay, cool, I can see me.
Like everybody, when they think about Vegas, they're like, okay, Sin City, you're going to be on the strip, you're going to be a gambler, you know, you're going to get in trouble, and it has been totally opposite, just like you said. Like as a local, you try not to go to the strip too often unless you have friends or family in town, because everything is, you know, in the outskirts of the strip. So it's been great because, you know, what's great with Vegas about the business opportunities that they have, a lot of variety. As you can see, there's just, you know, businesses everywhere around here, and so it's a great, you know, place for me to potentially, you know, start a business and get to where I am today.
Cool. I'm originally from upstate New York, which is not too different from the Midwest. And I moved out here, and it's funny because I went to a real estate conference seminar out here, and I'm like, I think I want to move to Vegas.
Yeah.
So.
And it's kind of funny though, because you're from upstate New York. I'm from kind of the southwest suburb, about 30 minutes outside Chicago.
Okay.
And then doing my clinical year in Tennessee, you know, we're kind of in the South. And so it was funny when I was in my clinics, a lot of the local students that were in my class for clinical year, you know, my nickname was the Yankee because I was from the Midwest.
Oh,
but
that's
when
funny.
you say Yankee, you know, they associate that with kind of New York and the New York Yankees. So apparently in Tennessee, if you're from the Midwest, you're considered a Yankee too as well. But that was fine. You know? I embraced it and took it with a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm from California. What would they call them?
Well, we're on the roads. We call you guys a lot of things.
Right,
California driver.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, we don't have patience. So.
So you've been out 8 years now here, and you know, tell us a little bit more about the hospital, your challenges, the growth moments in your career.
Definitely. So Vegas Valley Pet Hospital, we're located just right off of Summerlin, off of Charleston and Indigo.
Can I say how excited I am for you to be here? So just so you guys know, Luna, you're Luna's doctor.
I
so
am.
it's like, so anybody that knows me, I'll just share this really quick. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
my
go
ADD
ahead.
kicks
This is
in.
great, Mike.
So yeah, so anybody that knows me, well, John knows.
Yeah.
I read reviews, and believe it or not, the reason why I ask about the interior, if you guys haven't checked out this vet hospital, you guys need to, because everything inside is like very spa-like, Japanese, I would say, a little monochromatic maybe.
A little monochromatic, a little bit more modern than
I love it though.
other
It's like,
hospitals
it's
out
not,
here.
it doesn't, it feels fancy. It feels like I'm gonna like where I go get my Botox done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like I want to go and have a spa day now.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's sliding doors
Oh, cool.
with the like light wood, not the dark wood.
Yeah, it's
you
got
know,
like
and
a
it's still a little industrial. Tell
modern,
us more about that,
ambiance.
and then I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
I love it.
we got
well, because I like all these things.
Yeah, we got a very warm, I would say, hospital. Like the ambience right when you walk in is a very warm feeling, kind of the light wood, lighter colors.
Yeah.
You know, we do have the sliding doors, so we're not kind of open into hallways, trying to take care of our space. And yeah, we try to make it an efficient hospital, but one that is, you know, very warm, little chaos. And in the lobby, as you know, some hospitals can be very chaotic with everybody checking in. And so we try to keep that warm atmosphere so that way it's less stressful on the owners and the patients too as well.
That's very smart.
Yes, and it's very minimalistic. It's not like a whole bunch of dog food everywhere like you see at all these other places. I literally scouted out. I read Yelp reviews. I'm like, just going, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then I saw you guys because we go to that Cairo and to the red light therapy in that same location, and I'm like, I need to check this out. And the minute I saw the pictures on Instagram, I'm like, this is where Luna's going.
Yeah.
And then I read your guys'
Yeah, and I think that's smart too, because if you ever go to a hospital, it's very sterile, and you're already, like, when you're walking in, you're already stressed, right?
Right.
And obviously, if you're going there, it can be sometimes a stressful situation.
Sure.
So the fact that you even thought of that ahead of time, you don't see that very rarely.
Yeah.
So that's savvy
Well,
on your end.
It's
for
also
sure.
too, the biggest thing is about the customer experience. You know,
Yeah.
it's all about the customer and the patient experience, and having them, you know, these animals are coming in feeling ill. Sometimes they're stressed out of their you know, normal situation. To allow it to kind of minimize that as much as possible makes our job easier, and makes it easier on the owners too as well.
Right.
And all in all, it just enhances their experience, especially with, you know, stressful situations where you're worried about your family member or your pet. You know, we want to set that tone and that experience right from the get-go, right when you open the door, and want to make sure that our clients are leaving with the warm experience, and and wanting to come back, and and us providing the best medicine for our clients and our patients for sure.
Yeah.
But how
Thank
Vegas?
you for that. Yeah, it's very intentional.
Yeah, it
check
is.
it out now.
Yeah.
But Vegas
We'll talk
Valley,
tomorrow.
we're just coming up on our second year now, believe it or not. We've opened up the end of November of last year, 2023. So it'll be 2 years come November.
Wow.
We've just been gotten great receptibility by the community. We just kind of really got a lot of clientele really fast, just because the community has been really
Location is
receptive.
awesome.
And the location
Yeah.
is great too as well. and we just been having a great customer experience. And one thing that I took pride on of starting this hospital is we wanted to win that Best of Las Vegas award every single year to kind of set ourselves from the rest. And one thing that I take really good pride in myself and my employees is we actually won that award. We got the gold award our very first year in business. So that's like a huge accomplishment for us, and we're looking to go for year 2 in a row. And so we just started this hospital just because we wanted to provide the best medicine for the community. In veterinary medicine, a lot of these corporations are coming in and buying out these private practices. A lot of it too has to be with, these corporations are hiking up prices, and we wanted to stay private and be able to provide the best medicine at an affordable price for the community. And I think we've done a really good job at doing that, and I think our clients in the community would agree with that too.
That's great.
Well. Yeah.
That's a big shift for yourself, because now you started your own hospital and everything. So tell us more about that. I mean, that seems like there's probably a lot of challenges that have come over the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's still always challenges too. When you go and start a new practice, from the ground up, it starts with, the infrastructure, finding out the flow of things, obviously construction, having to train your employees, trying to have them have the same vision that you do for, providing the best customer service. And so a big challenge is just trying to get everybody on board, trying to get through the realm of things, continuing to train, trying to see how we can always adapt and do better to make sure that we, remain, kind of one of the top, hospitals in the Las Vegas community. And so there's always going to be those challenges, especially when you work with a bunch of employees that, are new to the field or have worked at other hospitals that might have done things differently, because every hospital, every business runs different. But, what we want to focus on is the medicine and what is best for the patient and best for the client too as well. So that's definitely a challenge. Another challenge, and I think that this is in veterinary medicine as a whole, is the how do I put it, the aspect of how cost is associated with it, because we're medicine, and when we talk about medicine for veterinary medicine is the same as human medicine, where a lot of the challenges comes along with the pricing and things like that. And a lot of that we don't have to dictate, because a lot of this is drug companies dictating their price. That's a big thing in the world right now. We hear it on the news about the cost of some of these drugs, and unfortunately we just don't have that opportunity to have a say in what our costs are. Equipment's the same. And a big thing that's a big challenge in veterinary medicine is having our clients understand that unfortunately we don't set these prices. This is what the drug company, and this is what we have to do to replenish it. And a big thing is that a lot of people don't have insurance for their pets, which is a huge thing that is now coming about, and that a lot of us in veterinary medicine are advocating for it, because it can really.
I don't have insurance. So I'm like, is it really?
It's a big
necessary,
thing.
or like, what does it cover?
It just depends on the insurance company and kind of your plan, just like car insurance.
So you would recommend it though?
Yeah, I always recommend insurance, and the reason being is that you never know when an emergency is going to happen. A big thing is in human medicine is we're kind of obligated to have health insurance.
Right.
In veterinary medicine, a big challenge is that animals don't have the same, legal rights and laws as we do as humans, and so pets are actually considered property, unfortunately, in the face of the law. And so a lot of people don't see the importance of pet insurance, but medicine is the same for human versus veterinary. So a lot of that comes out of pocket, and it can be frustrating for owners with what the cost can be, because the one challenge that we have in veterinary medicine is we have patients that can't talk to us. We have to base our decisions and our diagnostics based on thorough physical exams. The owner's history on what they're seeing at home and what the presenting complaint is, and trying to guide our diagnostics based on their physical exam, because they can't talk to us. So we have to rely heavily on diagnostics. And unfortunately, diagnostics come with a cost, and that can be frustrating to some owners, because they're not cheap diagnostics across the board for any hospital whatsoever. So that's a challenge that we try to mitigate when we talk to our clients about the importance of why we want to run these tests, the importance of getting client education and explaining to our clients basically what we know, so that way they can have the same understanding as us as clinicians, so in that way they can make the best decision for their pets and their family members. So that's been a big challenge. A lot of the challenge with the new hospital is, getting the name out there and, just continuing to put one foot forward and continuing to make sure that all of your clients and your staff has a positive experience, but still keeping up with, your vision and keeping up with your policies and procedures to make sure that you continue to provide the best medicine for everybody.
That's great. Obviously, you guys are off to like a super hot start, and you've been winning these awards, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, you're building this hospital from the ground up, so to speak. Like, how are you building this culture and developing this? Like, do you have any insights? Because I know as us building a team, we're all about culture. So clearly, it sounds like you have that kind of figured out, so to speak.
Yeah, I do a lot of networking, to be honest with you. So I try to network and try to bring my vision onto a lot of people that I meet in my day-to-day. So, just like what we're doing now with our podcast, this is one networking opportunity. I like in my free time, I like to do some golfing. So I meet a lot of people on the golf course on my off days, and try to promote the clinic, and then they're always looking for a new doctor, so I always keep my business card on hand. And, we're always just trying to get people in through the front door to say, hey, just come and check us out and give us a shot. Any way that we can network as far as marketing or advertising, or any also to new starting upcoming business, we try to support them too as well. We also do a lot of...
You hear that, guys? Businesses support other businesses.
We also do a lot of things for like rescues. So we work with the Animal Foundation and show up and try to set a booth to help them out. We every year set up a booth in Bark in the Park to help support the community.
Oh, what is that? I don't even know.
Bark in the Park is I believe they have it once a year, where I don't know exactly the location of it because my employees go and work at it while I'm at work, seeing all my patients.
Somebody has to.
But it's like a big meetup for dogs in the community, and they have different vendors that are set up for different groomers, different type of other veterinary products and manufacturers, and we come in just to support the community and get our word out and try to make the whole kind of Bark in the Park experience fun. We hand out little Vegas Valley swag. We have a little spin the wheel to win prizes.
Oh, very cool.
And just try to get the word out that we're here for them in the community for anything that they need.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it on social media before.
Yeah.
I haven't attended.
We've only had an opportunity because we're so new to work it once, but we got great experience. The employees loved working it. The community really was receptive and really liked the whole Bark in the Park experience and what we had to offer at our booth. So it's just any way that we try to get our name out and try to say that we're here for the community. That's how I try to network in order to just try to be there for everybody.
Yeah.
Great.
It's kind of like us with this platform. It's like you have to do it that way, I feel like, and then you actually get to know people on a personal level.
It's a more fun way to do it.
It is. I mean, we do send things out to like the community just to let them know about different newsletters and things that are going on in the hospital, but that you can't send out to the whole valley. So any way that I get a chance to meet a new person and see, we get that conversation, and it's always brought up, what do you do for a living, and then that kind of brings into the rest of our conversation as far as what we do, our location, and things like that. The one thing that's nice about our hospital is that we have a little bit of a specialty, and so we're able to do a little bit of of everything for everybody. Surgery is a big thing for me, so we like to do a lot of like ACL repairs and fracture repairs and things that a lot of normal general practitioners.
What about hips?
Hips, I do more management of hips. Hips surgery is not, some of them I can do, but as far as like total hip replacements, we leave that to the professionals and the board certified surgeons.
That's what Arabella had, right? Was that a total hip
like a total hip replacement, that's the one that you definitely want to have a board certified surgeon.
Do you know anybody here in town? Because I think we were having a hard time when, they had to go to like Cali. Because they couldn't.
In town, I don't know, but I know Las Vegas Vet Specialty Center has a bunch of board certified surgeons. Whether they do total hip replacements or not, I do not know, to be honest with you. But that's something that we can find out. And
I thought it was weird. I'm like, because they had to drive and it was already lengthy. But
It's hard with medical out here, because I feel like the community is just starting to develop, like great doctors like you finally coming out here. But when I moved out 18 years ago, a lot of folks are going to California. We're still seeing that.
Yeah. So we still have some, lack of certain type of specialties out here, where California, unfortunately, is the only place that we're able to send them. But what's nice about Vegas Valley is that we're not only just your general practice, but there's other things that we can do too. And so currently, right now, my associate, he's actually a resident trained oncologist. So we're actually doing kind of cancer treatments and chemotherapeutic procedures for dogs that have cancers.
Do you guys do a holistic approach to how's your? Because I know he's holistic everything. Do you have like holistic vets?
There are holistic vets in the area.
Approaches you take at times? Or?
There are times that we do take holistic approach. It just kind of depends on the case. So one thing you mentioned was red light therapy. All of our orthopedic procedures actually have a therapeutic red light therapy in my hospital.
Oh,
really?
That every orthopedic procedure gets. That's part of their procedure. And red light therapy has so many benefits to it.
Right.
So that's one holistic approach. We do have some other holistic things that we can use, but unfortunately with things like cancer, and chemotherapeutics, there's nothing holistic about chemotherapy.
No.
But there are certain things that we do that are holistic if we have that, but we also do what we think is best for the patient, and we go based on evidence-based medicine and research.
So do you see more pets nowadays? So I'm correlating this to, I'm a firm believer that we have just crappy food, us as humans.
Yeah.
So it's just with all these ingredients that we should not be eating. I don't even know how it's allowed, between that and dyes and the microplastics. And I know I always sound like a crazy person about all this, but so with animals, is there a route you take with your personal pets? Is it like, because it's like, so I read something and I don't know if this is true, like raw chicken is okay for dogs. At times they're like the bones, it's only bad once they're actually cooked. Is this real, like for the big dogs? I'm like, what is your take on that? Like what is the food, and then is there a brand that is, because I could see it when I started Luna on certain things, and now the food she has is pretty much chicken, like with vegetables. I don't make it, it's just I buy it made already, but her skin does look a lot shinier.
So food is a very controversial, I think, an opinionated topic when it comes to veterinary medicine. I think it's something that everybody is going to have an opinion on based on what they feed their dogs and what they think is best and what they don't think is best. I think one thing that I can't speak for every veterinarian, but I think I can speak for most veterinarians, that most veterinarians will try to shy people away from raw diets just because of the uncooked meats. There's pathogens in them. I've had a couple cases of salmonella poisoning from, uncooked meat. Also, too, just depending on the transport, especially with some of these new kind of refrigerated foods, too, as well.
I've seen those.
Does it get a little bit warm during transportation? And then once we put it back in the fridge, does it unleash those unborn pathogens? So, raw diets are going to be kind of a little bit controversial in the sense that breeders love raw diets, but as vets, with the schooling that we go through, we don't see a lot of benefits that come from it. We learn about the detriment that comes from raw diets. So me personally, I never advocate for a raw diet, and that's just because, of my experience that I've had with it. If there's a food that I or most vets, I think, would recommend brand-wise, I think we tend to rely on 3 brands, and that would be either Royal Canin, Hill's Science Diet, or Purina. And by Purina, it's mostly Purina Pro Plan. Those are the 3 companies that they're just constantly putting lots of research and development into making their foods and research as far as making sure they're the safest, have less additives and preservatives in them. But also, those are the 3 companies.
Caesars. It's not kibbles. Are
Little
those?
Caesars is fine. I mean, for Luna, you know, that works. And
Yeah.
she loves it. She loves it.
Yeah. Well, because it looks like chicken, but I'm like, I don't know, you know, if it is or.
loves
And a
it.
lot
I'm
of
sorry,
it,
guys. I have
and a lot of
allergies.
it too is
Yeah, just so if you guys see me, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of it too is that it's also
Only me.
You know, we look at this food and you're like, man, this looks boring. You know, why am I want my dog to eat the same thing every single day? Where then they start to go to the human formulations or some of these raw diets or freeze dry diets, and like this looks more appetizing. Like this is something that I would, you know, eat versus eating this hard kibble.
Right.
But they have benefits, you know, with having dry food and wet food, and you know, I think a lot of it too. Again, when it comes to veterinary diets, a lot of it comes to other people's opinions. One thing that's been upcoming in veterinary medicine that a lot of research is coming into is what's also very controversial in some people is what's called grain-free diets. And right now we're exploring a lot of research into. We think that there might be a correlation with these grains or grain-free diets potentially causing heart disease in dogs too as well. And that's a big controversy that has been going on for decades, where you know some owners will think that their dog is allergic to grains or they think grains are bad, when really dogs have most allergies or food allergies due to the protein source in their food. And top three food allergens are chicken, turkey, and beef. And so when they switch to a different food, their dog does a lot better, but they see that it's a grain-free food. But we are starting to see that some of these grain-free diets might have a correlation with you know, causing heart disease, and we don't want to, you know, recommend a diet that's going to cause something that could be a permanent health condition that can affect a dog's livelihood. So for me, all my dogs and cats receive Hill Science diet food. I think it's a great diet. They put a lot of development and research into it, and also too these research articles and things that we see that some of these diets might be causing some issues. We see that those three brands of foods are the ones that have least amount of those issues that we see in these type of research studies.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. So, I always tell everybody if your dog gets itchy, chicken is the number one. But also, too, with some of these human formulations or even homemade diets, some of these calories and caloric intake, you know, is just too much for them to metabolize. So, sometimes I always warn everybody to be careful with some of these homemade formulations because weight gain can also come with other expensive health conditions, too. And a dog, just like in humans, a healthy human is an in shape human is a healthy human. And keeping our dogs, you know, the top two conditions that we deal with in veterinary medicine is periodontal disease is number one.
My dog died of that.
Followed by obesity is number two.
Oh man, that's like us humans.
And just like with doing, you know, ACL disease and surgery on dogs' bones and joints, you know, a lot of that comes with overweightness. And so we do a lot of weight loss plans too to get them back into shape.
So I got Luna for hiking, and she does not want to go. She does not like to leave the house. I'm not sure what happened there.
She's just a little princess.
I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, I told him, I'm like, we got a little hiking dog. She'll be able. Oh, she's listen. I walked to the mailbox, and this dog is like knows I'm. She's like no, and runs back upstairs. She's like, I'm not going.
So diet is a big thing. I always tell everybody, you know, an in-shape dog is a healthy dog, and then you can eliminate a lot of these other health problems that come with obesity, like diabetes, stuff like that.
I have so many more questions. I'm like,
we're definitely. Before we let you go though, here, because I want to know a little bit more on your personal side. Sure. It's great information. I feel like we have like 12 more. We're gonna have to do a whole nother podcast.
I can't believe. I only asked two.
Flew by. I was like, we have so much more to talk about.
I know, me too. I'm like, I only did two questions.
Besides work,
sorry.
What do you do for fun when you're not working? You know, what do you do for fun? You know, because you have a tough job. I imagine this is a very emotionally draining job.
It is.
So how do you keep your mindset strong? What do you do for fun?
Question.
Let's know about you, the person.
Yeah, so, you know, being a clinician, it is not for the faint of heart. It's definitely intensive, both on and off work. It's a lot of work. And so things that I do to kind of take myself away from, you know, working all the time is I like to golf. I try to go golfing with my friends, try to at least once a week or every other week. I do have
We need to get in that habit.
Yeah, it's fun. It's just a great stress reliever. I wouldn't say I'm good, but
Okay,
I'm
then we're
working
not
on it.
good.
We're not good. We're not good at all.
If we're invited.
He's being modest.
Yeah.
Is what's going on.
I do have a
If he
client-
does it every week,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's way better than we are.
I do have
Boosts up
a
his self-esteem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a client that's a PGA Pro golfer, and I'm trying to, at the off season, maybe have him give me a little couple lessons to get
nice.
the
That's
golf
fun.
game. So to be continued. But I do like to ride motorcycles. I grew up, riding dirt bikes and things like that.
so
So I do
scary.
have a motorcycle at home that I try to get to when the weather's nice. In the peak of the summer, it's just a little bit too hot. Like to get on the outdoors and go hiking, and honestly, just doing anything with friends and family is what I like to do. It gets me away from the back of my mind, what is going on at work or going on with my patients, and that's kind of how I like to decompress. Is just to put myself around a lot of positive people and just kind of stay active. But outside that, I grew up playing ice hockey my whole life. So anytime I
cool.
get a chance to go
Knights
to
fan?
Knights fan, Blackhawks first from being from Chicago.
I get it.
I adopted the Knights, and I'm a full Knights supporter.
Cool.
And even too, since right down the street is the National City Arena. That's where UNLV likes to play. Sometimes when I get out of work, out a long day, I head over across the street, and I like to support the college UNLV hockey team.
Oh, you like the national
cool.
champs, huh?
Yeah, the national champs. Yeah, we were there for a couple of games,
Yeah.
and they did so fantastic. Had a
I'm
fantastic
hoping they
season.
move up.
Yeah, that'd
That
be
would
nice.
be cool to see that.
It'd be nice if they can actually get a little. Hockey's not a very big school-sponsored sport, so
It's
to have
expensive,
it is
yeah.
very expensive. So if UNLV can, if we can, get a couple championships and have UNLV support our hockey team and become a, school-sponsored team, I mean that's just going to drive them up. But the UNLV games, if you haven't been to one, they put on a great show. They're a great group of guys. That's why
I
they
love
won this
college
year.
hockey.
They're in it for the heart, and
Yeah.
so they do a fantastic job. They had a great season last year.
Yeah.
And
And they play where the Silver Knights play too?
I think the Silver Knights play in Henderson, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it
They
might
play-
be a
they play
different.
up here in
They
Summerlin,
play up
right?
there in
Okay.
Summerlin, right next to Red Rock
Okay.
Casino.
Yeah, we gotta go to a game. I've been meaning to go to see them
Yeah.
for years.
The
Yeah, we haven't been.
$20 to get in, and
Yeah.
they put on. It's a great physical game. I think I enjoy going there sometimes because these kids, these college students, have a lot more heart and a lot more physicality than some of these NHL teams. So
Yeah.
it is a
It's like
very
football.
Yeah,
I'm
very
like-
fast-paced,
Yeah.
high-energy sport. But the community was nice. They loved the UNLV team, so when they come out to support, they come out to support.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we have a lot in common because I actually have Raiders season tickets. Never go to the games. I go to UNLV football and basketball,
Oh, really?
so for sure.
We'll go to the Knights though.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we invite you. Yeah.
Yeah, Knights, and
Definitely.
then we'll go to I'm down for UNLV hockey because
Yeah.
I went to Quinnipiac University, so I love college hockey. It's fun, but we got to wrap this up, Brian. Thank you, sir, for being
Thank
on.
you
We
so much,
appreciate
guys.
you.
We have so
Thank you.
much
It
more
went
to
by
talk
so
about.
quick.
I know.
Co-host, guys. It's Run Vegas. Take care of yourselves today.